Hello, if you're joining, I'm still getting set up here. So as you drop on in, put your name in the comments, let me know where you're watching from, and we'll be getting going in just a moment. I'm trying to go live on Instagram for the first time. So it takes a little extra step here. I want to see how that goes. All right, audience is public. I'll go next. And why practice anything when you can screw up live? All right, I'm gonna copy my stream key and then coming back here to StreamYard. Thanks for bearing with me while I get this set up. Give me 1 second. I think I'm almost there. Oy. Okay, remove this destination from the stream and then re-add it. Okay. Oh, technology. Let's see. Remove Instagram. Let's see. Remove. Okay, bear with me, guys. Just one more moment, please. I think I'm almost there. I really want to try and go live on Instagram. In fact, if you give me a second, you can help me. Darn it. Let's see. Select go live once you're streaming. Oh, I think I'm there. Yay! Okay, I have one last step to do. If anybody also has access to Instagram, if you have access to Instagram right now, if you wouldn't mind popping over there and taking a look to see if I'm actually live on Instagram, I'd appreciate it. But no worries if not. Okay. So I'm so excited. I haven't been online for a hot minute. If you follow me, you probably know why. If you don't know me and this is your first time watching me, my name is Sharon. I'm from Accidental Art Maker. It is a small business that I started about 2 years ago. I'm an IOD stockist, Iron Orchid Designs. I sell DIY paint, recycled decoupage, and made by Marley. So I got a whole lot of stuff going on my website. If you have any questions about or comments about the products that you see me using during this live, just shoot them in the comments and I will answer them for you. And if you do know me, or even if you don't, I think the last time I was on was probably in the beginning of December. It's been a hard 6 months for me. My mom passed away end of October after being on hospice, and her funeral was almost exactly a month ago. God, I can't believe it's been that long. Back in DC. So between family, traveling, making arrangements and things like that, I just haven't been here. And if you have a problem with that, then Merry Christmas to you. All right. So today I'm really excited to share with you Painterly paints. So it's a new paint product by DIY, and they are very bright and glowy, and they are not for you if you like your grays and whites and those traditional colors that we often see people paint with. There's no white here, and there's actually no black or gray. It's all pops of colors. I love colors. I love adding as much as I can. My problem is actually scaling back from using too much color. So that's kind of who I am. I've been working on this desk. I'm going to show it to you guys, the top part of it to you guys in just a minute. I actually think I painted this back in summertime when the maize flowers from IOD came out. This is a transfer that came out a while ago. It is this tone on tone. It's not clear. So where you see white, it's white and kind of solid. There's 4 pages in this transfer, and I believe I just used 2 of them on this desk. And so I'll connect a link after the live if you want to see the painting of the desk and how I put the transfer on. But it's been sitting here because of circumstances in my life that prevented me really to getting back to it, and a little bit of procrastination mixed in there because, you know, I'm human. Okay, so I used this transfer. I put it on this desk. The desk I also painted with DIY colors, not painterly, just the usual colors that you can also find on my website. And it's just been sitting here. So I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know if painterly will go on top of transfers. I have no idea. Let's experiment. So I believe part of a big part of being artistic or trying to do things that are creative is experimenting and exploring. And yes, it can be a little scary. And yes, I could totally mess things up here live and find out that what I want to do isn't going to happen. But that is part of being an artist. You learn something, whether it works or not. And even if it doesn't work exactly the way that you want it to, you've learned a skill that maybe you can take to another piece of your art, and it will bring that piece all together, even though it doesn't look good. Your perception is it doesn't look good on what it is that you've done. So anyways, so let me show you. I did start this. Let me add this here. Here we go. Okay, so this is a video I took yesterday, and this is the top of the desk. I have put the maze transfer down on top, and I've added a coat of DIY liquid patina, and I let it dry. And then I went back in with my paintbrushes and my paint. That color you see there is Perfection. And I just painted on top of the transfer, one solid color. A little bit of this goes a long way. Now, I did cheat a little bit here. I did do already on the side of the desk with another maze transfer, and I did not put the top coat on. I just started painting directly on top of the flowers. And then I went to add a top coat on. When I went to add the top coat on top of that, it reactivated the paint, and which was fine. It reactivated the paint, and then I let that dry. And then I went back in and I added a few highlights to see what that would look like. Now, what I want to experiment with is I put the transfer down, I put a DIY across the whole top of this desk, and then I painted with painterly, like you're seeing here. I'm going to see if I can speed this up. Okay, let me jump ahead here. Okay. So yeah, I have a couple different colors going on here. So moving over, I want you to take a look at the tiny little flower there in the back. It's so pretty. Jump ahead. We'll jump ahead a little bit more. Now I'm just kind of like looking back, and I'm trying to fill in anything that's white, except for the ribbons. I think the ribbons I'm going to leave white on this side. And then I've got my little buds and my green leaves here.
I asked her.
So that green,
the legitimate part of my uncle's business. We haven't talked about it at all since we started this whole
and as you can see, the paint goes on. I've added a little bit of water every once in a while when the paint is a little bit too thick. And there's this beautiful transparency that happens with the flower underneath. Now, you could leave it exactly like this. Maybe add some shadow behind the flowers to make it pop a little bit. Maybe add some like metallic, I don't know. There's still different directions you can go in here, and still kind of call the major portion of this work done. But what I want to do today, and what we're here to look at, is like how roses, and I don't know what the technical terms are for this because I am not a rose gardener. But when a rose is kind of like two tones, and when the little edges flip over, and there's like this little beautiful color popping through that gives the edges of the rose petal definition. I want to come in here today and paint those.
But your
And I
uncle
want to
didn't
make
need you to run his parking
at
structure
least more and
business,
more
Morrison continued.
color added to them,
Didn't
to give them a
need
little
you to
bit more
worry about
depth,
the parts of his
while
business that
keeping
already
the
had
shapes
people
and
to look
shadows
after
that
them.
the
He
IODs
needed
were
you
brought in.
for
Okay,
this,
so
Charlie.
let's see
I
if there's
don't
anything else exciting happening
hear
here.
you
So,
say
no, I'm
anything
just
I
painting
said,
the rest of it green.
because I
I think
want
you'll
to be
see some of
sure
my
that
buds I
our
haven't painted
discussion
yet.
moving
I mean,
forward
oh, and I see I
is
missed the
directed
leaves
to the
too,
correct
but you know,
audience.
we
You are dealing
will
with
not worry too much about that. Let's
in
see.
Shisham
Yeah,
Kim's
so
money.
you can see how I painted there.
I
If you
made
have any
exploding bushes
questions
with my
about
hands to bring the point home.
this part of the process, put them in the comments.
Shisham doesn't
Even if
know
you're
that,
watching
and neither
a
does
recording of
anyone
this,
else
I
at
come
his
back and I
company.
check,
In fact,
and
it's
I respond
only
to
right
every
about
kind of
now
comment
that
that
some
there is,
technician has
and
discovered
sometimes even
the
the rude ones.
satellite isn't sending or receiving any
I'm very lucky,
information
actually.
and
I
is
haven't
going to
gotten
try
a
to
rude
figure
one
out
yet.
why.
So
That's when they're going
yeah,
to
so it's just
discover
been
there's
very
nothing where the satellite
very
used to be.
very nice people
Then
who
they'll try to figure out
tend to
why
be
that is.
attracted
Maybe
to
Shisham
Iron
Kim will
Orchid
even
Designs
mention
and
it to you.
DIY paints. So
If
I'm
he
kind of fortunate
does,
in that
you
respect.
can tell him.
All right,
It was
now
my
I'm
response to the
yeah. So if you have any
convocation
questions, pop
for
them in the
attacking St.
comments.
Genevieve.
I'm going to remove this
You
from the stream now. We're going to go back to my face, and then I'm going to change cameras. And there we go. Now I need to put this laptop. I didn't think this through. I think I'll just leave this laptop here. And I'm going to move my camera here. All right. If you have any questions, like I said, put them in the comment. I'm just going to get a little bit set up here. I've got a paper plate. I've got my tubes of paint here. I've got a tiny cup of water. I'll add it right here. I'm going to be coming in here and I'm going to be painting like these little ridges right here. What I think you will see happen is the paint reactivating and blending together. That's what I think will happen. So what colors am I going to use to do that? I do like the yellow in there. I want to do some of the light pink. So this flower right here is confection. I want to bring some confection into the big flower here. And then I might want to bring some love language, this color, into the lighter one over here. We'll see. But for now, let me, I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to use this neon orange called Old Flame. So I'm going to pop these out of the way. We're going to start with the yellow. I've got a brush here with a very tiny end, and I'm just going to squirt a little bit of paint, tiny bit here. And let's see, I think we'll do this one first. All right, let's move the camera, make sure you guys can see it better. Okay, so we're going to work on this right here. I've got my brush. I'm going to dip it in the water because I want my brush to be wet when I'm using this paint. It helps with the blendability. And then I'm going to come over here and take a little bit of the yellow and then offload it a little bit. And I'm going to start right in here. So there's this little bit of the rim popping up and over. So I'm going to start right in here and bring this through. Now, if any of you guys are rose experts out there, maybe you can share with us in the comments anything about roses that would, I don't know, help with research. Like some of us are very visual. Like if you like looking at pictures of roses before you were to do this, what kind of roses would you be looking at and how would you be researching that? I'm just kind of doing this from memory, from things that, you know, I've like things that have stuck out to me about roses in the past. I'm curious to know what you guys think. All right, so I'm just coming in here and I'm going to get my brush wet again. And now, so this paint is reactivating a little bit, which is totally fine, because now what's going to happen is I'm not going to get this big bright yellow blotch here. You're going to see it blend. And I might need just to come in here. I like the idea of it blending. And if this is your first time joining and you don't know what a IOD transfer is, Iron Orchid Designs, drop that in the comment too and let me know. And if you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. I always enjoy when that happens. I'm not very good at promoting myself, in case you couldn't tell. Yeah. All right, let's see here. All right, let's move out a little bit. Let's see what happens when we do this bigger chunk right here, like this big leaf. Now, what we won't be doing today, but I'll be coming back and doing later, is either adding a top coat to this, and that could be a liquid patina, or a coat of wax. Now, I happen to love the way wax looks like on DIY paint. It's going to need to cure, especially for a desktop. Sometimes where you have a surface like this and it's a desktop, or a surface that's going to get a lot of use, then you might want to put a top coat down and then come back and do some wax to get that feeling. But I think I might just go straight to wax for this table and then just let it cure for 6 weeks before I start using it. 6 weeks is probably kind of extreme, but that just means it's going to be in my garage, aka storage. Now, I'm just saying that there's actually another rose in here. I didn't realize that when I was just kind of painting my solid colors last night. All right, let's keep going here. Now, I guess my question would be for rose lovers, these petals right here that are in the middle are closer to they're closer to the center of the bud that's still opening. And if I'm recalling correctly, it's more intense towards the middle. And then as you go on the outside, it's just along the rim. Is that right? Like I would see more color here in the middle of this bud. Let's see here. I'm just going to bring a little bit of yellow on top here. Blend it in. Add a little bit more water to my brush. Okay. And then that's just going to slightly change this hot pink. It's going to bring a little bit of yellow to it, just a tiny bit. Like you won't even be able to see it because it's blended in. And then what I'm hoping to do is that as the outside blossoms come along, just put it along the rims here. So this is just, I don't even really have to stay in the lines here. I just need to, I like having this, I'm going to soften this line just a little bit by dabbing it. And over here too, I'm just going to dab it a little bit. But I do like having that it makes it look really 3D. So I've got a few things going on here. I've got the yellow paint I just put on top of the pink paint. And then I've got that dark shadow from the transfer underneath peeking through as well. So I'm going to add, now I'm just going to put this is kind of going back to experimenting. I'm going to reactivate this paint here. I just put straight water on top of that pink paint. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm actually going to it's almost like I'm mixing the paint on top of the flower. Let's see what that looks like. And now you can kind of see the transfer peeking through. You see the dark and the white down there, and I kind of like that. Let's see here. A little bit more water, a little bit more yellow. And if you're just joining us, make sure to hit the comment section and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're new, I'd love to welcome you. If you don't know, if you haven't been familiar with my channel before. Okay, so now, see, I think that's looking so pretty. Do you see how, to me, it's like looking more and more 3D. It's having more and more depth with these layers here. Adding this little bit of yellow in here. Okay, and then this area right here, a lot of the paint blended away, and that's okay. Let's just see what it looks like when it's dry. Now we've got this whole bigger section out here that I'm just going to come along the rims of the petal and add the yellow to, and then we're going to see what that looks like and how, or if we want to keep that, or if we want to also maybe do a little bit of blending here. Now my brush is still wet, which is fine. I probably will keep dipping it in my little water here. See, I kind of like that little line. I'm just trying to dab it away a little bit. I'm just dabbing up and down and kind of bringing it into the petal just a tiny bit. Like that. Now this middle section I'm not too sure about, but I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. I want to kind of keep exploring the outer rims, like this one right here. I'm going to come up here. Come up here to this petal. And I'm just kind of dabbing it in. And that's the other thing too, is don't be afraid to like try your paintbrush in different ways. So like I could pull it through like this, or I could come in like I was doing up here and just kind of dab it like that. Do I want hard lines or do I want something a little bit softer? I don't know. What do you guys think? Looking pretty. All right, we're going to keep going here. Let's do this one right here. And let's just kind of keep, I'm liking the dabbing. But let's see, let's just pull it through. See, that looks so pretty. I love yellow on pink. There's just something so happy and cheerful about it. And let's come in here. Just dab some in here. Got a little rim right here, a little petal. Let's make that little petal more yellow than pink. And it's kind of, it's almost like coloring, like with a coloring book, but a little bit more to it there. I'm going to take some water to this. Now that's looking more muddy. It's all right. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow. I'm going to bring some yellow back into it like that. All right, let's keep going. All right, now I'm going to do this one right here. There we go. That. All right, like that. I'm going to just pull in the yellow just a little bit here. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to clean my brush because I'm feeling like it's looking more muddy than yellow. Just going to clean it and give it a fresh start with the yellow here. I'm going to come back in these lines here. All right, we got yellow here on these rims. Let's just outline the whole flower. For sure, never be afraid to experiment. If you like, I'm kind of going into this, but I have been doing this for years. So I still don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm not sure. This is a new product and anything could happen. I could get mud, like I've been kind of thinking I've been seeing here. But if you're fairly new to picking up IOD or the DIY paint in this kind of art culture, it's a fantastic group of artists out there. And dare I say, I don't like using the word crafter because I kind of feel like that's what we're doing is we're creating art. And but so it's something I struggle with. I feel like people who call themselves crafters are just not, they're artists. They're not, they may be making crafts, but really, you know what? They're making art. Yeah. So anyways, there are so many wonderful communities out there. IOD Creative Tribe. If you haven't heard of that, for sure, check them out because there are like, I don't know, like 40,000 people in that group. And you should see the different things that artists come up with there. It's really quite it's really quite amazing. And so kind of going back to what I was saying is if you're like kind of new to this and you don't want to commit to a whole desktop, I get it. You know what you do? You go to the dollar store and you get little wood planks from there. And you put a few coats of DIY paint on that little wood plank. You let it dry, and then you come in and you put a part of a transfer. You don't want to put a whole transfer down like this. You cut out a little flower and you put it on there, and you see how that goes for you. And then you start scaling up. You start scaling up, and you start putting things on bigger things. So you're not so much experimenting, but like, hey, maybe somebody wants this piece of art here. And you keep going. And you keep going. So just like, I understand it can be like a little nerve-wracking, but look, I'm here live experimenting. I've barely used this paint yet, but it's okay. If I mess up, I'm going to learn something anyways. And I also know if I mess it up, I can probably fix this because guess what? I could just throw another coat of paint on top of this puppy. All right. So this is like a whole other little rose that I wasn't really paying attention to yesterday. So I'm going to figure out how to deal with that in a moment. I'm going to finish outlining this rose here. And if you're joining, let me know in the comments where you're joining from. If you have any questions, I can see questions coming in from YouTube and from Facebook, but I'm not sure about Instagram yet. So, because this is my first time going live on Instagram, which I'm kind of super excited about, because I'm curious to see what kind of exposure I'm able to get on Instagram with live. All right, so I am outlining this here. I got lots of roses on this table, guys, this desktop, but I have a feeling we're just going to be focusing on one for this little tutorial. Oh, and I forgot I have tea. Let me grab my tea. Okay. Let's see if I can show off my mug to you guys. It says, pour myself a cup of ambition. Quiz. Where does that come from? Pour myself a cup of ambition. Sorry, Dolly. I probably shouldn't be trying to imitate you. I got this really great Christmas tea. And my cup of ambition. All right. Now let's come back here. Focus, Sharon, focus. All right. What I usually like to do when I am painting like this is I listen to books. And so I just recently finished and started over again this book. Gosh, what's it called again? It has a bad word in it, so I won't say the bad word. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving F-U-C-K. And I started listening to it again because it was so good. Another great book that I've listened to this year that's really helped me a lot, especially with dealing with the a lot of the stuff that I've encountered since my mom's been in hospice is Codependent No More. Yes, Codependent No More. I listened to that. That's another one I just picked up and started listening to again after I finished it. But I'm kind of good with really heavy books right now. And now I'm listening to a super fun fiction book called Starter Villain. Starter Villain by John Scalzi. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. But it's about this guy in his 30s who, long story short, his uncle passes away and he finds out that his uncle is a villain. And he gets introduced to the world of supervillains. And it's a pretty great book. I laugh out loud while I'm listening to it. Okay, so now look, I've did this outline here and it's all blotchy and I don't like it like this. It's okay because I'm going to come back in and I'm going to blend these lines just a little bit here with some water. I just want to make sure I see a little bit of a petal here. I want to outline that. And then, and I think we're good here. So now in the middle, you can see where now that it's dried up, you can see like this little halo right here of where the yellow started to blend in with the pink. So now I'm wondering, I've got this hot pink and I got this yellow here. How do I want to blend these outside petals with the pink? And I think I'm going to try and just pull some color through like I did in here. And then the other thing too is I can always come back in here after this is dried, I can come back in here with pink again and I can pop in some of those hot pinks and then that gives it yet another layer. All right, so let's look at this petal here. I've got this outline of yellow around it and I want to blend it a little bit so the lines aren't so hard. So I just wet my brush. I still have a little bit of the yellow on it. And I'm just going to come in here because the pink does reactivate with the water. And I'm just going to start pulling the yellow in a little bit like that and blend it. And I still have this very faint line out here. And if I want to, I can come back in here and still bring in some definition here like that. Maybe a little bit more yellow towards the roses here. All right, and I want a little bit more yellow in this space here because this is where the petal seems to have flipped over. So I want a little bit more yellow in here to make that look like it's flipped over. Okay. All right, and now I'm just going to bring in the yellow a little bit more into here. Now it looks a little bit more 3D. Do you see how I did that? And I didn't really take lessons to do that. I just trial and error as well as watching YouTube videos like you're doing right now. All right, so let's do some of these petals around it. I'm wetting my brush again. I'm going to come in. I'm going to put in a little bit too much water there. Not a problem. Just take a paper towel and dampen it a little bit. And I'm going to reactivate that yellow paint and blend it a little bit. Now what I want to do is the petal part down here, like towards the base of where the petal disappears. I want to keep it that hot pink color. Let's go up in here. I'm going to reactivate this right here. We're going to blend it. I do want a little bit of yellow here. A little bit of yellow. I'm going to blend it in here. There we go. Let's like put a big blob of yellow right in here. Let's do a little bit more. All right. See, I got that little nice fine bright yellow right there on the outside, and then I'm just kind of dabbing up and down like that and blending it a little bit. What do you guys think? Now remember, I'm just getting started here. I'm going to probably be spending quite some time just fidgeting and playing with this while I'm listening to my book. I do want to try and, I won't be completing this flower because I still need to put a top coat on it. And like I said, it's probably going to be the wax. So when you put wax or a top coat on top of DIY, it makes the colors deeper and richer. And as soon as I have that done, I definitely will post the link. So be sure to come back and check. If you're not too keen on what you're seeing here, you have to see it once. I didn't mean to do that. Like I wanted to keep this part more pink. So I'm just going to pick it up with my paper towel. See that? Yeah, so I was saying, this is not what you see, what you get. The colors will become deeper and richer once I put some wax on top of this, and it's going to be stunning. Do you like my confidence there? It's going to be stunning, trust me. So you see how I'm coming in here and I'm just kind of breaking up that paint, and I'm doing that with a little bit of water, a little bit of paint, a little bit of the yellow paint that I'm using here. And now I've got a bunch of yellow here, and I'm just bringing it in. I can see where I lost some definition, where I still want it. So I'm going to just dry my brush. I'm going to get like all the water off of it, but more on the dry end. And I'm going to dab here into my yellow. And so now I got it on the end of my brush, and I'm going to put some back up in here. I'll smooth over where it got a little blotchy. But yeah, I want to add some more yellow. Got too much water. Okay. Might need to get, so I've been dipping in and out of this yellow, and it's just got water in it. So I might just need to, I'm actually going to put this here like that. I'm going to get my yellow, and I'm going to put just a fresh blob here. It's my artistic term, blob. So this has no water in it right here. Let me hold it up to the camera so you guys can see what to expect. So this is fresh out of the tube right here. And this I've been going in and out of. This was the same color when I started, but I've been going in and out of this with water and some hot pink. So you can kind of see how now this is This is more going to be kind of what I'm trying to get here in this flower where I'm blending it and I'm trying to get more of that mixed color, that blended color. But now my brush is drier, and I'm just going to tip it get a little bit of paint on the tip here. So I've got that. I'm going to come back in here because I do want that little glimmer of the original yellow up in here, especially along where I'm crossing over with other flowers. Where this is the dominant flower on top, I really want that to pop up. So now I'm just kind of coming in here. And there we go. Now it's a little bit, I'm going to come back in and just smooth it a little bit like that. All right. All right. I'm kind of liking that. And mix it up, blend it a little bit more down in here. But now that leaf is like really popping up. Now if you're just joining, you're probably looking at outlines like this. So these over here started out looking like this over here. And I know this might look very segmented with colors. And I might keep it that way, or I might put wax on top of it and call it good. Because I know once I put the wax on top, there's going to be some transformation happening here. So if you guys have any comments or questions, put them in the comment or question section where you're at. Let's see, how long have I been going for? How long have I been live for? 40 minutes. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more, and I'm going to just keep working on this offline. And I'll come back when it's time to wax this so you guys can see what that looks like when that happens. All right, now I'm going to come back in here. I'm just kind of blending the pink and the yellow on this petal. I'll take a little bit of water, my water cup. That's my water. And don't want too much water, but I want to just reactivate the pink underneath this a little bit. So with DIY paint, you can always reactivate it until you put that top coat on. And then once you put that top coat on, you're committed. All right, I'm going to blend this a little bit. So I'm just getting more of that little bit of the rim of the rose. If you are a rose gardener and you know roses, I'd love to hear from you how I could improve the colors here. All right, now I'm going to come in here and do this one. And I've got my brush. I've been dipping it in and out of water. And I'm going to just get some of this paint here. I'm just going to actually kind of mix it all up a little bit. So you can kind of see how it looks compared to the bright yellow before you mix it. And I'm just going to come in here and do that. My son might come in a minute. He's finally woke up. He's a teenager and he works, and he's on break from high school for Christmas. All right, that looks really pretty. And I'm going to come back in here. And I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to get a little bit more water. I really like softening up those edges. So it just has like a glow and then a very faint outline of the flower petal. All right. But I do like having it darker towards, so like the bottom of the petal here against the top of that petal up there. You want to have some contrast in there. All right. You want the two petals to look different from each other. All right, let's come in here. Let's blend this one a little bit better. So I thought I was done with this petal, but it's looking a little bit blotchy, so I'm just coming in here to reactivate some of the paint. Like that. All right, now this is looking blotchy over here. So there's a lot of yellow on that petal. And I'm just gonna bring it in just a little bit more. I'm gonna break that up just a little bit. There. I'm gonna bring in bring in a scrape of paper towel. It's a lot of water on there, and I'm just gonna suck it up just a little bit. Here we go. I'm kind of liking it. All right. I'm gonna wipe off my brush because now it's got more pink than yellow. Give it a little water rinse. Okay. I'm going to keep working on this, people. And I will share with you again in a few days when I go live to wax it. In the meantime, if you have any questions about what I've done or why I've done it, and I can answer that question, I will do that. Oh, Dee. Hey, Dee's here. Oh, hey, Dee. Nice to see ya. I'm just about finishing up here. But if you have any questions, Dee, let me know. I've just been kind of having fun with the painterly paint and filling in the, doing a little bit of painting with it here on top of May's roses from IOD. Dee's been a customer of mine for a while. I just scheduled this Dee like this morning. I was like, I'm going to do a live today. And so I popped on and I started doing this live. So I'm going to start scheduling them better in 2024 so that people have a little bit more warning. But I just felt like finally in the right headspace to come on here and do a live. I just haven't felt like in the right frame of mind to come on here and do anything just recently until today. I'm kind of feeling a little bit more in the holiday spirit and a little bit more like I'm camera worthy, all the fun things that go through our mind, you know. Let's see here. All right. Well, now I'm going to say, I'm just kind of looking at this on camera. Let me get a better look here. So you can kind of see, like, so this right here is its own flower. And I didn't realize that when I was painting this last night. I was just, pink. So I might come in here and I might choose like some like blue, something blue, like I don't know. Are there blue roses? Does it matter if there's not blue roses? But I want to make this its own little individual flower here. But I really like how, like in here, you can see it's a little bit blotchy and painterly, but that's just fine. You can see the different petals, and it looks like, you know, one petal's on top of another or underneath another here. And I really like that effect of like the petals on top, and that's achieved by like the really super light on the super dark part of the other color of the paint. I don't know the technical terms for this. I don't need to. I just need to know what I like and what it looks like. You might try and do this, or you might do this, and you might find like, hey, I like, you know, I'm going to take this in a different direction. And I encourage that so much. Just get out and explore with your paints and your art supplies. If you're watching this from Florida and you still haven't used your painterly paints yet, and you know who I'm talking to, I want you to pull them out and try this. Just try this. It doesn't take much of a commitment. Just splotch it all over the place and see what happens. Okay, that's it. I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to switch cameras and say goodbye to you guys. Say goodbye to Dee. Let's see here. Here I am. All right. Well, it it's really good seeing you. Thanks to everybody who joined and watched, or to those who come on board and watch later. If you've enjoyed this and you want to keep track of what happens to this desk with these transfers, hit subscribe, hit follow, do the things. I would really appreciate that. And also, I like sharing this stuff with you, and I want to hear what you think about it. So feel free to drop a comment, even if you don't like it and it's not your thing. Like, tell me what your thing is. Tell me what it is that you're curious to learn, and we can make that happen. If I don't know how to do it, then I can point you to somebody who does. If you don't like lots of colors, I know IOD stockists and DIY stockists who love like the, modern farmhouse, the whites and the things like that. So just let me know. I'm here to help you. And that's it. Have a wonderful holiday, a wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.